News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Should the House kill this bill that funds Ukraine but not our country, $60 billion to a corrupt dictator to prop up a country that has no end in sight? They're not going to win the war. Everybody knows it. Quite frankly, I don't want this bill to pass, but quite frankly, I hope that Ukraine, they keep telling us today, like on fake news CNN, Ukraine desperately running out of ammunition. Good. I hope you surrender. I hope you just end it, dude. Negotiate. And by the way, you can say that Vladimir Putin's wicked and everything. I don't think he's a nice man. I think he's a dictator. I think he kills his enemies, and he jails people that are innocent, like Evan Gershkovich, etc. But I think he's part of the axis of evil in this world. But if you've seen that Tucker Carlson interview, it took me like 4 nights to go through it. I'm not going to watch 2 hours and 7 minutes in one sitting. And it was great. It was good. I'm not saying Putin's great or anything. He hasn't convinced me of anything. But it was interesting to listen to him talk to Tucker for 2 hours and 7 minutes. The first 35 minutes is a boring history lesson from Putin. I think he's trying to get you. Everything he was doing, I can tell you, and the way he was talking and everything. I swear, there's no question to me. To me personally, it's all tactics for KGB tactics. He's a very smart guy, but it was still very interesting. And I walked away with a little. And he said we had an agreement, and that they even signed on to several things. Their emissary, their Ukrainian person, when they went to Turkey, and they signed on to it. But then they were told that Boris Johnson, Putin said Boris Johnson killed the deal. He did not want them to negotiate that deal. He killed it. He's like, we could have had this thing done already. I'm sure there's some non-truth in there, but nonetheless, very interesting. So should the House kill this bill that funds Ukraine but not our country? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Josh and Wiley, you're live on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, kill it. Anybody that supports this bill needs to be primaried.
Tell me why.
But because this is garbage. Our border has reached a critical mass. And this, I am not convinced that, half this money going to Ukraine is not just part of a giant money laundering scheme. The corruption that runs through Ukraine is just on par with Russia. And I'm not saying we should let Russia overrun Ukraine by any means, but I'm sorry. These blank checks, I can't take it anymore. I'm fed up with it. And I know we wouldn't be doing this if Trump was in office. And there's no end game. That's the other thing is we're just writing checks with no end game. Correct.
Isn't it funny how Joe Biden is against Israel now, saying they have no end game when the Ukraine war?
Not only that, he's come out and said that basically Zelensky will decide and be the only person to decide the fate and what's going to happen with this war. But we're sitting here telling them while they're on the brink of shutting down Hamas to sit down and shut up.
Right. Totally bogus.
It's beyond hypocritical. And it just lets you know the ideologies that are really running through our country's government right now.
They hate us. They don't give a frog's fat you-know-what about us. They're destroying us, fundamentally destroying and changing this country overall for the worse. And they're more concerned about other countries than us.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And, it's going to get to a point, this country's going to reach a point where there's no return. 4 more years of Biden, that's a non-starter. That's an absolute non-starter. And I'll be honest, I really thought this was going to be the guy running. I really did. But now, after this last week, I'm not convinced that Biden's going to be the guy running now. I a meltdown in the Democrat Party right now.
They're not going to change anything, and here's why. Listen to this. They know that Kamala's a joke. They know they cannot. What?
Tackling Kamala?
Kamala! I know that I speak through my nose nasally, but damn, I'm good. Okay, now, they will never get her out because they cannot take out a black woman out of the race. They can't. They do not want her. Let me ask you, what's that? No, she couldn't win anything.
She can't win.
No, she's got a 28% approval rating. Not even 3% or 30% of the country supports her and thinks that she's any good. But here's the thing: if Kamala had a good rating, a solid, moderately good rating, like a 45% approval rating, 42%, 50%, 52%, whatever, between 38 and 55, would not the entire Democrat Party be saying, "Step down, let Kamala take over"? Would they not?
Yeah, you're probably right. If they felt like they had, if her numbers were anywhere close to his, yeah, it's like might as well take a chance because this right here, I mean, I just don't see how Biden wins this election at this point.
So
watching this video with him today that he put up on X today, I mean, you can't even understand what he's saying.
You know, Americans, I saw something tonight. Jesse Waters had his guy that he sends out, I can't remember his name, but to the street, and he asked about, they did a man on the streets. They claimed they didn't edit anything as far as they didn't only select certain people. He went to a heavily African-American community in, I think, New York.
Trump.
Every one of them. Black, woman, man, older, younger, women older. They laughed. They said, "How's Joe Biden doing?" An older black woman, she just went, and he's like, "I take it that means..."
Well, you know what it is? It's like Rush used to say that the bigotry of low expectations, the soft bigotry.
That was from George W. Bush.
The black community, they think the black community are that they're morons, they're not. Because they're racist. They are the racist.
Did you see, Josh? Did you see the Twitter they put together with a black family? Joe Biden brought fried chicken and sat down. I'm not kidding you, with a black family.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You couldn't. That's what when I meant. That's what I was talking. You couldn't understand what he was saying. He was mumbling.
Oh, you talking about that one with the African American family, the family he sat down with?
Yeah. He couldn't even complete. You couldn't understand the way he was enunciating his
People
words.
are astounded that he brought fried chicken. It's like, dude, could you, like, it's such a trope.
Listen, my grandfather passed away a few months ago. Just a few months ago, he was 92 years old.
God bless him.
Still up until, thank you, he was a Marine too. Fought in the Korean War.
God bless
Great man.
him. God bless
But I'll
him.
tell you what. Up until the last 6 weeks of his life, at 92, he was sharp as a tack, and I could understand every word he said. And I
Correct.
can't say that about Joe Biden. And I'm not saying that as an ideologue. I'm saying genuinely, when I hear this man speak, it's ridiculous.
So the American people already thought we had you know how we can't get unity on anything in this country? 86%, almost 90%, 9 out of 10 people in this country agree on one thing now, that we're unified, like after 9/11, that Joe Biden is not able to be a president. He's not competent enough to be a president. He's too feeble-minded. So they're not going to replace him because they don't want Kamala. They're not going to. Otherwise, they'd be calling for Kamala to take the lead and for him to step down. And they can't replace her because they'll look horrible with the race game. So they're stuck, and they're going to stick with him, and they're going to love him, and that's it. Josh, great call tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Great call. Look forward to your next one, brother. 800-288-WBAP. Lines wide open for you at 800-288-9227. Brand new study out today on the worst drivers in the United States. Where is Dallas-Fort Worth? Well, both of them separately are in not good places. Are you surprised? We're going to talk about if you agree with this new report, this new study that says DFW has the worst drivers, some of the worst drivers in the entire U.S., and what are the worst driving habits you see on our North Texas roads? Line up right now. Jump on. I want to hear from you. I have so much to talk about on that, too. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Lines are wide open. Chime in right now. Worst drivers in the U.S. rankings, Dallas and Fort Worth top in Texas. Are you surprised? I want you to tell me if you agree with this new study. We rank... Are you ready for this? Dallas and Fort Worth are on the top 10 of Forbes Advisor's rankings of worst drivers in the United States of America. Dallas is 6th on the list, scoring 6.25 per 100,000 residents, whatever that means. Fort Worth, number 9, coming in at 4.7. Oh, it's how many deaths per 100,000 residents. 4.7 per 100,000. Albuquerque is number 1. That's interesting. Memphis is number 2. Detroit, Michigan, Detroit City, as it were, as the late James Brown used to say. Tucson, Arizona, 4. Kansas City, Missouri is 5. And then there we are, Dallas, Texas, 6. Louisville, Phoenix, and then Fort Worth, Tampa, OKC, San Antonio. And then we go down, and Atlanta's number 16. Milwaukee is 19. El Paso is 20. That's bizarro. Where's Chicago? I'm going to tell you something right now. Our drivers suck. Our drivers suck. And here's why. It's because they do so many stupid things, and they get mad at you when you're driving correctly. And is it Texans? Is it out-of-state people? I don't know, but I'm going to tell you something. The number one thing that is so pathetic is merging a half mile or a quarter mile before the dang merge. I am not cutting in front of you when I merge at the freaking place you're supposed to merge at. That is not cutting in front of you. Cutting in front of you. If you are too stupid to know that merging takes place at the very place where the arrow and where the roads start to come together, then you can get excited and waste more of your time by getting in the main lane and waiting forever a half mile back. But what you cannot do is act a fool and act like you have mental issues by honking at me and angry at me for actually merging where I'm supposed to merge. It is the most unbelievably stupid thing I've ever seen. And I Googled it one night talking about this years ago on the show. And Indiana and Minneapolis are just 2 states out of our 50 states that we have in this country that show officially how to drive in a merge on their websites. They're the Indiana dot and Minnesota dot have it on their websites. I looked it up. I was scanning around on the internet one night when people were disagreeing with me and saying how wrong I was. And they have a freaking animated video for stupid people. And it shows how the zipper works. A merge is a zipper. One lane goes, then the next lane goes, and you come together like a freaking zipper! I'm like Sam Kinison yelling. If you want to merge, if you want to have a zipper with your U-Haul hanging out, your Yahoo, your yak, as my mom used to say, then you go ahead and do that. But I will not leave my thing hanging out. I actually will zip properly. You know what I'm saying? The tines, I think they're called, coming together in a zipper, right? And if you want your watch to operate where the gears are supposed to come together, don't touch. Where the gear stands, above where it's supposed to touch together and come together, so it works perfectly, then you can do that. But that's not how the design of merging is. And that is my biggest pet peeve. Now it's time for yours. Do you actually think that we do have the worst drivers in the U.S. in Dallas and Fort Worth, as this new study says? As reported by WFAA TV Channel 8. They analyzed many factors. I'll tell you more of them in a second. But let's go to Ray in Oklahoma. You're live on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Our number, by the way, phone's wide open for you. Call in right now. Tell me why you think we are or are not the worst drivers in the U.S. I think we are. Some of the worst, period. And what are some of the worst driving habits? I want to hear this one big time, too. What are the worst driving habits that you see out there in North Texas roads that anger you so much, like I just told you mine? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Ray in Oklahoma, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Here's my biggest complaint, and I am a professional driver.
Allegedly, sir.
Put down the phone! You are not coordinated enough to walk and chew bubble gum. You are not coordinated enough to hold that phone to your ear and drive your vehicle.
What are they doing with their phone in their hand, and why? What are you seeing as a result of that? What is your clue?
Well, they're clueless to what's going on around them. First off, when they hold it to their head, they now limit the movement of their head. And I agree with you about the zipper. But when people are merging onto the freeway, get up at or about the flow of traffic. You
yes!
Don't come down at it. Don't come down the road at 90 miles an hour, and don't come down at 30 miles an hour. Look over your shoulder. time your entrance into the merge.
Okay, so you're saying when you're coming up on the on-ramp to merge onto the highway, this is brilliant. This is one of my other ones. I'm so glad you hit on this one, Ray. What you're saying is when you're on an on-ramp getting on 75, 820, whatever it is, 20, 30, when you're getting on there, you are to catch up to the flow of traffic in the slow lane that you're merging with, correct?
Correct.
And that is one of the biggest, ridiculous, stupidest things in the world, too, that I see here. My job, if I'm in the slow lane, hold on.
Has yield signs.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. I like that. When I'm in the slow lane and you're merging with me, my job is not to accommodate you. You listen to me good. My job is not to accommodate you. You are joining our flow of traffic. I'm not joining you. I'm not attempting to get involved in this lane. You're coming into our lane. And we are not to slow down or speed up. Because guess what? Then the other person merging is going to be slowing down and speeding up. And they play a game. Oh, like you're dancing or you're trying to walk past each other. And someone's going to the left while you're going to the left. We go one freaking speed, you turds. You hit the gas or you slow down and merge with us. Go ahead, sir.
Maintain safe distance. And there's an old trucker term for what you were just saying.
What is it?
I don't brake for the merge.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Ray. God bless you, my friend. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Jeff in Dallas, we're going to take you next out of the box on why you think. He does say DFW drivers are bad. I cannot wait to hear why. We've got 3 lines open. I want to hear from you right now. Tell me why you think we are or aren't the worst drivers in the United States of America. As Forbes reported, Dallas and Fort Worth are both in the top 10 worst drivers in America. That's coming up next. Want to hear from you. 4 lines open now. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Do you agree with Forbes magazine that DFW has the worst drivers in the U.S.? And what are some of the worst driving habits you're seeing in North Texas or on the North Texas roads? That's next. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Worst drivers in the United States rankings. We are on the top for Dallas and Fort Worth, which I'm sure it's a big shock to you. Not. What are some of the... First of all, do you agree with the Forbes magazine study today that DFW has the worst drivers in the USA? And what are some of the worst driving habits you are seeing on our North Texas roads? My gosh. The list is long. And so are the amount of callers, which is good. 800-288-WBAP is our number. By the way, 800-288-9227, 800-288-WBAP. This is News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset Chris Crock show. All right, so let us first go to Jeff in Dallas. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, man. I agree with the findings. I totally agree. I'm driving through Dallas right now on 35, and even though there's not much traffic, it's the risk taking, man. It's driving like people are playing video games. They take risks that other cities that I've been in, you don't see drivers taking.
What are the cities? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, say I lived in Charlotte for a while. I'm from Houston, so don't get me wrong.
Right.
They have to be ranked. They got to be ranked worse than Dallas because it's another level down there.
No, Dallas is worse. Houston is number 23, then Austin at 24, then Bakersfield, California. No, Houston comes in 23. Dallas number 6. And
wow.
Fort Worth, number 9. Honestly, there's a lot of bad habits here. I don't know who it's from or what it's from, but dang it, it's disgusting and it's horrible. I've seen it since coming back to Texas 14 years ago, but it's unbelievable.
That's what happened to me. I didn't know until I left, and I saw how it was in other places. And frankly, people at the road with me were saying, "Damn, why don't you use a blinker?" I said, "Hey, man, if we use that in Dallas or Houston, people won't let you in."
That's right.
Don't speed up.
That's exactly right.
You get used to not doing it. And then pet peeves of mine, man, are when people are going to miss a turn, they'll just stop and hold up traffic and make everybody else.
Oh
suffer.
my gosh!
Just go to the next intersection and do a U-turn or whatever, make the block. They don't do that, and then if they're going to turn left or right, they like to swing into the lane like they're driving an 18-wheeler. Before they take the turn. That's a big. I'm right about that one.
Oh, of course you are, but you don't go to somebody else's lane so you can make a wider turn. Number 2, though, you're reminding me of something. I pull out of a side street onto a frontage road within a couple blocks of where the merge is onto one of our major highways, and one of the big ones. And these idiots who are waiting to turn right to merge onto the frontage road, to get on the frontage road, but we need to get over to the far lane to get on the highway within, like I said, like 5 blocks worth or 3 blocks worth, so real close. And these idiots that are in front of me from a side street turning right to go on the frontage road are waiting to have all 3 lanes clear to take a right so they can go over to the other side for a merge.
They don't know how to turn in their own lane.
These people are complete morons. You know why? You turn on the lane closest to you to get in the road, and then you go over one lane as quickly as you can responsibly. It's not freaking hard. I'll be going to church on a Sunday morning. I'm like, what are you doing? I have to honk at some idiot. It's like they're out there for 30 seconds. I'm like, dude, you've had 5 chances to get on. Get out of the way. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. God help us, sir.
Now, if you get in rural Texas, it's different. They'll pull over and let you pass. They'll slow down, get on the shoulder. I mean, it's super friendly. But as soon as you stick us in the city, man, we get vicious.
I'm going to tell you something. I was born and raised in Chicago and then raised in the suburbs, and I've always thought we were the best drivers there. I go home now, and I'm like, no, these people suck too, but we're worse here. We're worse here.
Yeah, we are worse here.
We are worse here. We just are. What other cities have you been in? You said Charlotte. Where else? Anywhere else?
I live in Charlotte, man. They would.
Where else? Where else?
New Orleans. I've been down in several cities in Florida. I lived overseas.
Okay, so you really have.
And all that.
Yeah. Okay, Jeff, I got to roll, but thank you, brother. Great call. Look forward to your next one. Let's go to Dale and Flower Mound. By the way, one line is open now at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. We are the top 10 worst drivers in America, according to Forbes today, in Dallas and in Fort Worth. Dallas beats out Fort Worth by about 2 or 3 rankings to be in the top 10. Both of them are. Do you agree with Forbes magazine that DFW has the worst drivers in the U.S., as I do? And what are some of the worst driving habits you see on the North Texas roads? Let's go to Dale. You are on News Talk 820 WBAP. Hey, Dale, in Flower Mound.
How you doing? Chris?
Good, sir. How are you?
Not bad. Now, I came from Massachusetts in 2013.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, too, because that's one of the reasons why I left up there.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
And, but down here, the worst pet peeve I have about drivers is they drive like maniacs in the left lane, and then 10 seconds before their exit, they take a right.
Yeah, so you're saying they literally are on the highway, they're in a fast lane, and they want to go all the way off to get the off ramp to the exit ramp, and they got to go over two or three lanes, almost so sharp that it's like they're turning on the highway.
Yeah,
exactly.
I've watched 2 accidents happen because of that since I've been here.
Yeah, these people are morons, and every one of us, including you and me, are responsible. And are part of the whole thing where we're having to pay for insane insurance rates because of stupid people that involve us in their escapades by hitting us or getting involved or putting us at risk. I couldn't agree more. And, man, what someone's going to say about that, it'll have to pop back in my brain. Oh, I know. This is sheer stupidity, and if you want to kill yourself, when you get a flat tire or if your car breaks down, if you want to kill yourself, if you want somebody to run you over going 80 or 90 miles an hour or 75 miles an hour, when you have a flat tire or when your car breaks down, pull over on the side of the highway, and then you can watch yourself get killed by some idiot, because it happens all the time. It just happened again last week. 2 to 4 times every month or two, you literally will have 2 people in a month typically that I see, sometimes more, that are complete morons. And I quote Trooper Lonnie Haschel, the state trooper who was the spokesperson for DPS over this region, and he said, if you have to drive on the rim of your car with your flat tire until you get to an exit, do it. Don't pull over on the side of your highway. And people never learn, and they want to die. They want to get killed. So they pull over on the side of the highway. Don't ever do that. Appreciate your call, Dale. Let's go to, we got Jim in, wait, do we have time for one more? Or no? Want me to hold them? All right, Jim in Fort Worth, I want you to hold. Jesse in Fort Worth, I want you to hold. Charles in Denton, I want you to hold. These will be our first 2 calls from Fort Worth, where you guys have the happiness of you beat Dallas with being better drivers, but only by 3 points. You're number 9 in the country for worst. Dallas is number 6. which is where I'm sitting right now. What are the worst, some of the worst driving habits you're seeing in on our North Texas roads? And do you agree with Forbes magazine that DFW has the worst drivers in the United States of America? Coming up next, your call, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. We have one line open for you right now. I have two lines open. I want to hear from you right now on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, by the way. Chris Croc Show. Call in right now. We get two lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Tell me if you agree with Forbes that DFW has the worst drivers in the U.S., and what are some of the worst driving habits you're seeing in our North Texas roads. And what's great is when you call, you remind me of some other ones, too, so it's a lot of fun on this with you. Excuse me, ACDC. Let's go to, so we got Jim in Fort Worth. We got Jim in Fort Worth. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM on 93.3. Jim, you're the first Fort Worth caller. How do you answer to the charges that Fort Worth is the ninth worst driving city in the country? What say you? Are you guilty as charged as a city?
Absolutely, but I am glad that we bested our friends back east in Dallas. So we have that going for us.
By the way, I will say this. So you are pleading guilty without a trial. You're not going to go to trial. You're pleading guilty, right?
Well,
you're pleading guilty.
I am pleading guilty on behalf of my client. That is my adopted neighbors here in Fort Worth. So I'm a transplant from Seattle, and
oh wow,
I've driven into Texas twice, and there's a very funny sign at the border. Perhaps you've seen it, and it says, "Drive friendly, the Texas way." Now, Texas has the best people in the world. I've been constantly amazed. People will hold the door for you, doesn't matter what age, what race, what gender. They'll hold the door for you. I was at a sports bar at a sporting event, and people stood up around me for the national anthem. And believe me, coming from Seattle, I was speechless. I said, What's going on? Is there like a fire drill or something?
Right.
I'll ask people where something is, and they won't just point me down the block. They'll walk me there. I'm like, nicest people in the world until they get behind the wheel of a car.
Right.
And then the mask comes off, and it's like, oh, my bleeping bleep. It
yes.
scares the living daylights out of me. It took me 6 months to get used to the driving speeds around here. And I'm a guy who collected, speeding tickets every 6 months for his entire 20s. I'm not a little old guy. So the main thing that I see that is breathtaking, and even the cops are guilty of it, is nobody uses their freaking turn signal. I shouldn't say nobody, but a mind-boggling high percentage of people, they just eyeball a spot they want and they take it. I'm like, dude, that your luck's going to run out because someone else is going to be eyeballing that same spot and not signal, and I'm going to have a big old wreck on my dash cam to share on YouTube, I guess. But it's terrifying. It's terrifying, and I guess the previous caller, Dale, alluded to perhaps one of the root causes, and that is the fact that aggressive drivers will simply see your signal as a sign of weakness, and they'll take the spot you obviously need just to stick it to you.
You know what these jerkety jerks will do? That try to, when I'm trying to get over to that last lane to emerge on the frontage road that I do every day to go to work, they'll speed up, and I'm like, you don't. In a split second, I'm saying to myself, to them, like, you have no idea who you're messing with. And thankfully, I've got a six-cylinder, which is not I don't have a Porsche, but it's a six-cylinder SUV that goes. And I slam on it, and I put them to shame to get over. And so there's not even a challenge. So it's like you wasted your time trying to stop me because you're not going to go as crazy. You're not as crazy as I am. Get out the way. Move. How long have you been here now from Seattle?
Yeah, it'll be 3 years in October, and I absolutely love it here. I didn't expect to love it. I expected to like it. I got moved here for work. And, I miss friends and family up there, but I absolutely love the people here. So
I take it you like our legislature being Republican.
It's, again, I'm still in shock because up there I've been used to losing for 27 years straight.
Good.
Oh,
good.
Yeah. It's like this is what it feels like to actually have something sensible pass. It's amazing.
Good. Welcome, brother. Appreciate you very much. Glad to hear you. We have, let's see here, we have two lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Two lines open. Do you agree with Forbes magazine that DFW has some of the worst drivers in the U.S.? Fort Worth is number 9. Dallas number 6. I agree. I think that's accurate. Worse than Chicago and New York, which, I mean, dude, I was just in New York with friends for an unfortunate event I told you about in the late fall, funeral for a beautiful sweet boy that we lost for our dear friend. And it was insane. They're not aggressive. They just do. They go. They flow. Like when you're driving. I drove in Queens, Brooklyn. You know, our friends drove, and I was in the car. But I was amazed. There are scooters everywhere. Not the illegals with the illegal ones, but the regular ones. And they just go right in front of you, and you go in front of them, and you just flow. There's no, I don't even think they indicate either. You just flow. You flow left to the left lane, you flow to the right lane as you need to, and everybody understands. Nobody's mad at you. It's pretty interesting. Very interesting. It's like a third world, but nobody's screaming at you 9 times out of 10. Nobody screamed at us. We cut people off gently. They cut us off gently. Nobody gets offended. It's pretty amazing. They're like, screw, we don't have to, we have too many people here. We got 2 lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Let us go now to Charles in Denton. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM 93.3.
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah. The people around here, they drive like maniacs.
Yes.
Like I grew up. I learned to drive in New York and New Jersey. I'm not saying that they're maniacs up there too. No,
that's a scary area. Just I've not been in a long time, but there's a high crime, high violence, bad stuff going on right in Newark for the most part.
Yeah. I'm not talking. I'm talking about the driving habits up there.
Okay, no, I know. I'm just saying it's a rough area, is it not? That's all. So I want that in the perspective of the driving. Talk to me.
No, it's like we up there. You drive with the flow of traffic, and when you turn on a turn signal up there, people pretty much honor that. Like you were saying,
yes.
People drive with the flow, and you put on a signal. They're maniac drivers, but when you turn on a signal up there, people honor that signal, and they'll let you in.
Yes.
Or you'll let them in. Here, you turn on a signal here, these people just drive faster. They just totally ignore your signal. It's like it's not even there.
We have to add something. Go ahead, sorry. It's
like out there, when you drive around here, it's every man for themselves. It's like you're out there for yourself. There's like no courtesy at all out there. It's like you said, the merge and the footprint. Like we'll do like left lane, then the right lane. We call it like a footprint. You call it like a zipper. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I know exactly what you're talking about when you're trying to merge it in 2 lanes.
You don't merge a half a mile before the dang merge. If you want to do that and wait in traffic, that's your stupidity. You merge where the merge is, not a half mile before. These people that honk and act like you're cheating can kiss my rumpity rump. Yes, sir.
And then these people, if you cut them off or something like that, or you get a little fender bender, these people jump out their car and they'll try to fight you.
That's right. You don't look at them. You don't put your hands up. You don't flip them off or wave sorry. You don't do anything. Just don't look at them. And if they rage on you, you ignore them.
If we got a little accident, a little fender bender, be like, all right, are you okay? You don't have to go to the hospital. First of all, nobody wants. New Jersey has the highest insurance in the country, so nobody wants to report their accidents.
Oh my gosh!
Their insurance will go up. But these people are like, no, they really want to get out and fight you. I'm like, no, you don't want. I don't want to report this. If you want to report this, I'll report it.
It's real simple. If somebody tries to accost me in my car, if they start banging on it, I'll pull out my weapon and. At that point, they should go bye-bye. I mean,
it's just a car accident. It's not, we don't have to kill each other over this, man.
Charles, I appreciate your great call, my brother, and I'm glad you're here. We got 3 lines open: 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. More fun driving songs coming up next. Plus, your talk about do you agree with Forbes magazine that DFW has the worst drivers in the United States of America? Which I totally agree. Fort Worth is 9th worst. Dallas is 6th worst. And what are some of the worst driving habits you're seeing on our North Texas roads? I've got more I haven't shared with you coming up next on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Ben in Waco, Jesse in Fort Worth, you're next.